The last example is when we deal with trig functions. X equals 3 cosine of t, y equals 3 sine of t. And what will this graph look like? Well, let's start by doing domain and range. For my cosine function, I know the domain goes from negative infinity to infinity. We've got no asymptotes with cosine. Same thing with sine. We go from negative infinity to infinity. So for this one, I know my end result is going to be all real numbers, no issues. When we deal with trig functions, we usually have to tie in one of our trig identities. And since I'm talking about sine and cosine, the one relationship that we have is we know the cosine squared of x plus sine squared of x is equal to 1. Now we're going to use the same approach with parametric forms. But instead of saying cosine squared of x, we're going to say the cosine squared of t. And instead of the sine squared of x, we're going to say the sine squared of t. Once I've got this relationship down here, this cosine squared of t plus sine squared of t is equal to 1, I can use what I've got up here. I know x is equal to 3 cosine of t, and I know y is equal to 3 sine of t. And I want to start by getting just sine and cosine by itself. So we'll divide both sides by 3. So the cosine of t equals x over 3, and the sine of t equals y over 3. Now that I've got cosine of t and sine of t, I can see sine of t and cosine of t were in this original equation, so I can substitute in. So cosine squared of t plus sine squared of t is equal to 1. We know the cosine of t is x over 3, and that's going to be quantity squared. The sine of t is y over 3, quantity squared is equal to 1. Square both pieces, x squared over 9 plus y squared over 9 is equal to 1. And then finally we can multiply through by a 9. So you get x squared plus y squared is equal to 9. And you know x squared plus y squared equals 9 in rectangular form is a circle with radius 3. So my picture should be a circle with the radius 3, negative 3 in all those directions. Let's confirm that's right by plugging into parametric form my two parametric equations. I know that x is 3 cosine of t, and I know y is 3 sine of t. I'll hit graph, and sure enough, there's my circle. Looks a little oblong once again because I can see I've got more x pixels than I do y pixels, and those y's are sort of crunched in there. So if I go to zoom and I choose option number 5, which is zoom square, I'll have more of an even picture of what my circle looks like. I can see right there it's 1, 2, 3 units out, 1, 2, 3 up. So that's a circle with radius of 3.